like a practical, here we go, this is what happens in a rehearsal. Some of it's going to fly by. Fortunately, we're blessed with these guys who are wonderful musicians. I understand all of us may have different types of musicians that we work with, and so I'm going to try to speak in terms that will help those people understand. We're just going to have a good time. We're going to go through a couple songs and just show you how it starts a rehearsal. One question I have, Mr. Awesome Media Person, y'all have a boom stand that has the ability to hold a microphone. Cool, let's open up the Lord in prayer, and then we're going to jump in. God, thank you for this day. Lord, thank you for all who have come here, and I pray that as we glorify you in this rehearsal, God, that you would be lifted up, Lord, that your praise would be made known to your people. God, that the words that Lord, come through in these songs would be written on the hearts of your servants. And God, we want to worship you in our spirits, Father, and the understanding that you live inside of us, and in the truth of the Word of God that has so much power, Lord, to save us, to redeem us, and to tell us, Lord, what we need from you and what we need to give to you. So God, help us to realize our need for you, and Lord, we are grateful for just the opportunity to be here today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Awesome. The boom stand man. Way to go. Give Andrew a hand, y'all. Yeah. Awesome. So I want to do just a bit of an introduction. So typically, for what I would do with my rehearsals, I kind of covered this earlier this morning in the rehearsing the band class, I would give the recordings and the sheet music, which hopefully you grabbed sheet music when you came in the door. If not, we can get you some. To all the songs via planning center. The hope is at least 2 or 3 days before practice, sometimes a little bit longer. And after I give it to them, then I tell them via text message, don't forget to check planning center because all the songs are up, because they're not checking it every 5 seconds like I am. And then there's an expectation that they would come to rehearsal prepared and ready to rehearse, not practice. Practice is where you learn your part. Rehearsal is where you learn everybody else's part. So that's the goal. But the reality is, some of these guys have never heard the first song because it was one that our church wrote. And so, fortunately, we've got some great talented folks here. And a smorgasbord of musicians, which is wonderful. Acoustic guitar. Typically, I don't have the luxury of a wonderful violin player. But we have 2 guitar players, electric guitar players. And so he'll be, come here, Michael. Michael will be playing the role of electric guitar because a lot of the songs have wonderful lead lines. And so he's actually going to add a little distortion. So what I want to do really quick is play for you a snippet of the first song. And we might go a little further since this song's not quite as familiar. This is a song we wrote in February of this year, and it's called Not Today. And many of you probably went through the tragedy of Hurricane Harvey, heard of the tragedy of Hurricane Harvey in Houston. And one day I was in church, sitting on the front row, and about to lead worship on the first song, and my pastor's wife comes to the door, and she has a shirt on that says, "Not Today, Satan." And I was like, something about that in that moment after what we went through, I was like, that's not today, Satan, come on, you know? And we were on a songwriting retreat, and I told my associate this story, and we just both shouted out, "Not today!" And then we did that. I was like, there's something to that. And so we started to write down how we kind of went into Romans, a little bit about how it talks about the war that's inside of us between the light and darkness that's fighting, and that, you know what, we're going to tell the enemy that today he does not have the victory or the power over us, and we're free, and that God has given us that liberty. So that's kind of where a really brief testimony of where this song came from. I'm going to play it, guys. I want to throw you off in the original key. The beauty of planning center is you can change keys, but I'm not going to sing it in the original key, especially after teaching 5 sessions. So I want you to hear it in kind of all actuality. so you have a little bit of context of the song. Let me ask you a favor. Can I have you wonderful people come this way and bring one music stand on the way over here? I like to have all my musicians close together during rehearsal. And I like to fix my musicians. I don't know. There's something about obviously being here and practicing this, but for Wednesday nights when I'm practicing my band, I want to just see all their eyes. And so I typically turn this way. You were the band. Look at this guy. Oh my gosh. He's amazing. So not today. You may have noticed, but there's no such thing as a B sharp minor in this key. So there's a little bit of chord, and I made this chart myself. This was kind of a something I learned from the previous band guy that I was telling you about earlier. He takes a Microsoft document and he puts the song in such a way where it looks like almost sheet music, but it's on this easier to read document. And what I found is this chart speaks not only to the volunteer musician that's used to seeing chord charts, but it speaks to the professional musician, and both of them feel like either the professional musician's like, hey, that's kind of classic, that looks kind of nice, and there's a lot of instruction here. And the volunteer's like, hey, I can relate to that, and I can learn some of these other things along the way. So it does take a while to make these charts. I will say some 3 to 4 hours. But because worship music being something that you don't have to do once, throw it away, you can use these charts over and over and over again and become really helpful to you. So if I was going to start a song like this, obviously the band would already know. The electric guitar player would know that at the beginning it is his time to shine. So now Michael knows that it is his time to shine. And the drummer would know that finally I have got some cool beat I can play besides. Alright? And so we play everything in our church to a click track. I recommend in some way trying to move in that direction. If it starts with just the drummer having a click in his ear or even a little flashing light on his music stand, something that allows him to stay on the beat. But once you get everybody onto a click track, eventually they will love it. At first they will probably hate it because they feel like it's stopping the musical flow and groove. What happens is the drummer can stop thinking about keeping everybody on time, and he can start thinking about actually playing the drums and leading in worship through playing the drums. Amen? Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're just going to kind of dive in. What I like to do at the beginning is just what my friend, affectionately titled, throw it to the wall and see what sticks. So let's see what has stuck for this. We got 2 acoustic guitars right now, and so what I would do in a situation like that, they would both not be playing the same things. We have these wonderful little things called capos you've probably heard of. Pianos call them the cheater things that they don't like. And so I'm going to be capo 2 playing in G chord shapes, which will put me in the key of A. Looks like he's open, going to be playing in the key of A, and so that's really great. Or you can capo and go higher. But what we want to do is to have some tonal differences between he and I, or this young man right here who's running sound is going to be like, come on guys, you're fired. So we got to put some diversity in our, Ks. We got to put some diversity in our 4K, 5K, 6K, 400K, whatever you know. Alright, so I'm going to pretend like I see you. There you are, awesome. Let's just take it from the beginning. The drummer, there we are. That's fine. Yeah, I got it right. In a situation where you don't have a click track, then the drummer is your click track. And the drummer is your foundation. He's also your starter most of the time on a full band intro kind of song. This is a little different because it's not all out rocking, but we are, for the most part, all in together. And so you're going to give us a nice 90 under a little flashing light, and if that doesn't work, if your drummer doesn't feel comfortable with that, if you're the leader, you're going to turn around. You're going to be like, okay, 1, 2, 3, here we go. But I believe in this man right here. All right, you ready? Let's give it a try. So give us maybe I usually like a 3/4, but for this purpose, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4 on a click.
To
and see what would happen if they read the chart. It's always a fun way to see if your musicians are paying attention. And so at the beginning, there's this epic drum, kind of like and so it takes over, and there's this big theme, and then thick bass, and he was doing it, rocking. But then what needs to happen on verse 1, what has to happen musically, we've got to come down. So in our setting, it looks like some people are going to need to drop out. If I got 2 acoustic guitar players, if they're both playing on verse 1, it's too much. It's too much. We've got to leave some room for the vocals and for the instruments to come through. Some people will hear songs like that, like this, and think, man, that's just all loud. And it's not. There's actually a lot of musical diversity and a range of emotions going on in here. But as a band, we've got to express that. So maybe that first verse, me and you are sitting out. Now, some things about modern songs like this. The acoustic guitar player used to be like this guy in worship. And nowadays, you turn into more like this guy. You almost become like a shaker. It's a very steady strumming pattern. So if you're like listening to songs and you're like, what is off? And you hear like something going on. Sometimes this guy's doing this, and the snare guy has like a little snare cadence or roll he's doing. Those things are fighting each other. And so to correct that, this guy's just being like almost like a tempo. And I tell you, that sounds easy. To keep that on tempo and to sing if you're a singer is not always the easiest thing to do. It takes a little bit of practice and preparation. So, and I'm coaching y'all while I'm coaching him because he's like, okay, now I'm going to start playing like that. And drummer band, like, I know we're in the channel right now, but it's practice, and you can always be louder in practice. So, like, give us epic at the beginning, man. Like, show us who's in charge, okay? And then, on the first chorus, you see it says big diamonds for band. So we kept going, right? We're all playing along, and it's like there was no diversity. So in that first chorus, we hit that first note. Today, we let the vocals ring out. I am free. I'm claiming all the promises that you made for me. And look at that, there's a little note. Drum fill. Alright, so he has a little moment to do something besides just a diamond. And then at the end, I have actually notated his exact rhythm that I want. Da, 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 da. So that we all have this anticipation when we go in it together. Alright, let's take it from the beginning. I'm feeling your energy. I'm feeling your power. I always want to encourage you to your band. Let them know all the great things that they did. And then passive aggressively in a fun way, tell them about the bad things that they've done. Here we go. Ready? So, a couple things. I'm loving what Michael just did there. He listened to the song 1 or 2 times, maybe, not even all the way through. He's such a talented musician, he made up his own theme. So, in a setting where it's like, hey, we gotta go, we gotta move, praise God for somebody like that knows out of town. If you have time, I like to try to, at least at the beginning when you're first learning a song, hit that lick a little bit more. And so what I would do in this situation, I would say, hey Michael, that was awesome. Way to go, man. Like, you're so gifted. I wish I could have an ear like that. Do you think we could play that theme? And he's like, well, I don't really remember what it sounds like. As a worship leader, as a leader of the band, you want to know everybody's part enough to be dangerous. So I listened to this song because my kids put it in the car 10,000 times. So I know, and watch, he's so talented, I was going to sing that 1 or 2 times, and he's going to nail it on this go-around right here. I was like, feeling the pressure. Here we go, ready? There's a war that's raging The darkness has no power over me. So you probably already noticed just a little bit, the intro was a little bigger. The verse automatically went down. My man right here, he stopped playing. Piano player, she totally went off. You're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. If my piano player stops playing, the whole foundation falls out. It doesn't have to. You need to also be okay and let your band know that you don't have to play every note of every song the whole time. It needs the space, it needs the breath. That's what kind of life is. And also, typically on this song, when I play the click track, I'm also going to have some other parts that are supplementing. Or I'm going to have a keys player. A keys player would be playing a very nice, sustained, thick organ sound or a thick pad. Since I don't have that, my bass man is staying with me, and he's providing that solid foundation that doesn't make it feel like the bottom dropped out and people don't want to sing. So we're giving them something there like that. That was awesome. She's just so smart. I see it. You know, she just allowed herself to go, I'm okay, not there. And then she came in. Now, when we get to the interlude, it goes to full band setting. So, again, because these guys aren't incredibly familiar with it, I'm just going to coach one thing. Tell me your name, your drummer. Tim? Awesome. So, Tim is starting to get into it. He's loosening up. He's like, wait, I'm not in a chapel service anymore. In truth, I'm in a band rehearsal that I get to lay into. So, on that beginning of the interlude, instead of doing the dance beat, that is an open hi-hat, and this is kind of a philosophy when you get to a interlude that's a full band setting. You want to tell your drummer if it's missing some energy, watch his hi-hat, what's it doing? If it's closed, then it's not giving you quite as much energy as you want. Tell him, open that hi-hat a little bit. Or go to the crash ride, but we'll save that for later. So I want you to do more of the straight, and that will make it feel a little bit better. And we started slowing down just a little bit there. So let's take it there from, let's do it right for that interlude. We're coming in, and I'm going to count us in real quick just to get us back on track. And then he's going to give us an incredible fill, like on beat 4 of the count, and watch, it's going to be amazing. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. So did you see when he changed from to the whole song took a new identity? This is like conservative, kind of like a little, he's playing to the room. He's been asked probably multiple times, can you bring it down a little bit? He's learned to control that. This song requires more of the drummer, and so we're stepping out of the box. And I just asked, you may say it was, but was everything too loud? Did you feel overwhelmed with music? Not too much, right? See? So you have more freedom here than you think. But the song needed that. It needed that breath, and he added it, and it changed the feel of it. And I think sometimes we can get trapped with drummers who feel like they have to be reserved. And there's more freedom beyond the box. Sometimes we put people in Funny enough, we actually have our drummer in a box, and we tell him, you go to town, because the drums sound the best when you beat the snot, okay? Let's see. On the verse 2, did you notice what happened with our wonderful friend Michael? Similar to what an electric guitar would do, Michael was out on verse 1, he maybe did a little bit of twinkles on the chorus, and then did the theme again on the interlude. But on verse 2, he started giving us the theme. And it was like, ooh, melodic difference. That was wonderful. We needed that extra element of production right there to add some new interest. If you think about songs in the measure of like thinking about the pop world, every 30 seconds almost something different happens in the song. If you have a verse that's kind of long and it's sectioned off into 2 sections, the first half is going to be something, that second half they're going to add something else. On this, I know because I was in the studio when we did it, that first line of the second verse, the enemy is raging like a flood, he had 2 things going on at the same time. There was a pulsating pad that was kind of descending arpeggio, and he had this little and I said, one of those needs to go for the first 8 bars. He cut it out, and then added it on the second 4 bars, and I was like, yes. These are subtle things. You don't think about them, but the musicians in your congregation, they're listening for those things, and greatness attracts greatness. And so when you have those elements of extra musicalness, not only does it attract them, but your band people are like, yeah, I'm waiting for something, something's about to happen, it builds anticipation, and it's not just, you know, I've got to be really good at ad-libbing if I played every note of every song, you know, which you are really good at that. But we want the ears to have some breaks. Okay, so let's go in an interlude before the bridge, and they did it really well. The bridge is breaking down, and then he's reading his lines over the drummer's getting ready to do a hit on the first beat of every line on the second line. And all right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Not today. If it was a familiar song, I probably wouldn't be stopping this much. I'd want to get it through a solid run. But for teaching purposes, I'm stopping a little bit more often. So the bridge at the very beginning, again, since I'm playing with a click track, our wonderful piano player was keeping time. But in an ideal world, I would want her just to go, and let her breathe, and let her breathe. But she knew that there wasn't a click. So in a live setting, if you don't have a click, but you still want to capture that breath, tell your drummer, hey, can you give us just like a hi-hat on 2 and 4 or something to keep us like, not today, or like even just 1 and 3 of each of the measures. I am free. Not too loud, not so that the overhead can hear it, but mostly so she can hear it, so she can change chords throughout time and the singer can kind of hear it. So obviously there's a little cue on the second line for the bass to come in, and if he had time to listen to the recording, there's a nice little bass fill that goes into that, and then he can do it his way or he can do it like the recording. On the bill we started, the intensity picks up a little at the beginning. So because we had the tempo still going a little bit at the bridge, then the top part of page 2 wasn't as impactful. But watch, you'll see as we really air it out, and then we start that build, you're going to feel the energy rise a little bit more. Okay? And then, every song in their world, on the last line, building up to something big, is doing. So when we were in the studio, we thought, man, I wonder if the drummer could do something besides an 8th note and 16th note build on the top of the snare. And so he did, and it's amazing. It is busy and crazy. And so you can have fun doing to build up into that while still us, instrumentalists that can't do all those fun things, are sort of keeping that anticipation of the 8th and 16th build. So it's a double thing together. And then on that first chorus, that last chorus going out, it's literally an A diamond, and it stretches to all 4 of those measures, to where the drummer is the only one going. And then we come back in and finish out strong. All right, let's take it on that bridge right there. I'm going to lose my voice, sorry guys. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll never leave me or turn away. Nothing can separate. Nothing can separate. Through the blood and the flames I know. Nothing can separate. Nothing can separate. When temptation causes me to fall, your love is stronger still. Your love is stronger still. The gates of hell will shall not prevail. Your love is stronger still. Your love is So, the one thing, how you end the song can do a couple of things. It can elicit a response. So, there, we just ended, it's great, but what needs to happen as a leader is then I'm transitioning right to the next moment. Maybe it's a verbal comment, maybe it's the keys player and knowing that the next key's coming up, and it's a relative key, or if it's not, like, I'm not one of those ones that likes to plan every song in the same key. That's boring to me. So, like, I might do a song in A, and the next song might be in A flat, which it is. And so getting from A to A flat can be crazy. So sometimes we plan different things, like we'll take a breath and we'll just stop playing, I'll say something, and then we just start the new key. We're great musicians when I get to know those guys. They can find a way to tastefully get from A to A flat. It's like, that was nice, I like that, do it again, So, all those things you take into consideration, but a lot of times big songs end well with what we call a trash can ending. And a trash can ending is where we just squish it out, And I'll tell you, at my church, even 10 years later, I'm the longest of the trash can ending. I'm still going, the drummer has dropped down, the bass player has dropped down, the player's gone on, I'm like, come back in. Like every time, after 10 years, I'm like, come on, guys, let's go. But there's something about that ending that elicits a celebration, excitement, and you can do things out of it. Like you do this, typically they're responding some way, and if they are just standing there or whatnot, again, it doesn't matter. but you're always leading them somewhere. So then you can come out and say, hey, let's sing that chorus again. Not today, I am. And it sets them up to sing in that moment too, because it's a strong start to something. I've also done it where you can do this, and then my click track's going, and the next song starts. And we go right into it. So transitions are really important. So that was a really good job for never hearing that song. And, these guys would go home and they would woodshed. And that's what we say. After rehearsal on Wednesday, what are the parts that you needed to work on that you thought you maybe knew, but you didn't know quite as well? Go home, and I would go talk to my drummer, I would talk to my guitar player. Hey, don't forget on the bridge, there's a really important section right here. Can you take an extra ear and listen to that? They love that because to them, you're coaching them and you're investing into them. At least from what I've seen, that's how you do it. You can go say, dude, you totally blew that part. It was gross. If you don't have it fixed by Sunday, you can't really approach them like that. You approach them with grace and then share the truth with them just like Jesus would do. All right, good. Let's put that one away. And I have both my singers here. That's wonderful. We'll do an easier transition and do go with a beautiful name. A to B works much better, right? All of you have probably done this song 10,000 times in your church. What a beautiful name it is. So, tell me what your band setups are. Are y'all full rhythm section? Are you kind of like different instruments and whatever shows up that day? Yeah? Yep. Cool. Whatever you have, you can work with. The two foundational instruments are your drums and your bass guitar, or your cajon and your bass guitar, if you just have a djembe player or something like that. When those guys are synced up, just some rules of thumb, and bass man knows this, he's listening and looking for Tim's kick. And when Tim plays a kick, for the most part, he's playing his strong beats with that kick drum. Those two things syncs up, and you feel this weight, this warmth and presence that encourages singing. When people feel like the music is too soft, it's like they don't want to sing because they don't want to be heard. Certain generations, all right? When they feel like it's too loud, they don't want to sing because they feel like they can't hear themselves. So there is a definite balance there, but there's something out in the bass and the kick when it's mixed well. When you have a wonderful meeting guy like we have in Andrew, then it allows everybody to feel invited in. And everything you want to do is to invite people in. Okay, what a beautiful name. Now this song, on the recording, on my little click track, it's going to go da-da-da-da-da, and it already has a pad on the track that swells in, and it's just and at the beginning, that's it. And then she hears verse 2, 3, 4. You were the word at the beginning. And it's so simple. We don't have that. So I'm going to ask my bass man, can you beat a pad for us kind of mid to high on your range there at the beginning? And I'm going to ask my piano player, can you just give us some diamonds on the first measure and then diamond us into when she's supposed to begin. So when you hear the second diamond, boom, you were, that's your hand of one and your jumping notes. All right, so just give us like a and just hold that note out there. And you don't have to do that, just do like a and then my drummer is never resting. He's never resting. So he's giving me a little bit of cymbal work, a little bit of sweetness and sauce on the cymbals, shimmering. And then ready, 3.
Your hidden glory in creation.
Good. Thank you. Man, beautiful voice. Wow. Tell me your name. Shannon. Great job, Shannon. And she just heard that she was doing this, but fortunately she did the song about like an hour ago. So you're killing it. You're killing it. I love it. So, we don't have a bad. That was great. He was out for this little, and it just felt nice. That's what you mean. What was that? Oh. Yes. I said this in the rehearsal class, so if you have an electric guitar player that knows how to make cat sounds, let him do that on one of the songs. It'll make his day. He'll think that he's the coolest thing ever. He's like, hey, it's like an out-of-instrument experience. So we got that going on now. Awesome. Perfect. Drummer band, when he had the little metal brushes and was doing that work, didn't that feel better than if it was just and nothing was happening? He was just giving us some life. There's something about live and drummers never resting that go hand in hand. You're always doing something, and it always needs to be tasteful in the right spot, right? And then, tell me your name. Alina, she stuck with the diamonds there at the beginning, and then she felt like on the chorus we needed a little bit extra, and she was right. We did a touch extra. And so, Melina, when you get to the chorus, actually, I'll say that. Sometimes I like for the piano to go a little bit in the mid to high range, to give it separation from where it was in a verse or a chorus. I'm always looking to change something up from a verse to chorus. So like Drummer Man, he was doing, simple work, but the first verse maybe he wasn't doing a whole bunch of stuff. And then you saw him go for his sticks on the beginning of verse 2, and then we stopped before we got there. And I would want, instead of just starting, you would lead us in with something. And it needed a little like, the name of Jesus. Nice and easy, but just something that said, here we go. Again, because we don't have a click track. And so, are we just gonna, where's one? He's gonna show us by going, something like that. Alright, let's take it again from the beginning. And then, other thing I was gonna say there at the beginning, is what I forgot. Okay, that's good. Here we go. Six. good they know this song. Did you see the little thing he did with the little scrape on the cymbal on the side there? It's like, you're like, yes, and it just led right into the next moment. He's always coming from somewhere or going from somewhere. Everybody has different personalities on your team, you know, and you got to see where they go. You know, remember her name, Alleluia. She is the humblest, sweetest, sensitive, softest person you're going to meet. And so I would coach Melina and I would say, Melina, I really want that part on measure 38 to shine just a little bit more. And you're playing on the Steinway, that German sound. I want that just to kind of dig in a little bit. So, you know, how I wonder what you are up above the world so high. There's nothing good in the sun, it's like a little star in the zone. Yeah. Let that kind of go into that moment, and I think it'll be really swell. All right, and then just a quick thing. I don't know, did they train or coach you guys on mic etiquette at all? Well, let me give you some more for mic etiquette. So, if you have seen people who, like, it's typically your pastor, right? He's gonna grab the mic, or like, it's the adult discipleship pastor that's rarely up in front of people. He's doing announcements. He's doing this for the student pastor. Okay, everybody, here we got 4 announcements I'm gonna tell you guys about today. You're like, why can't I hear him? This is a dynamic microphone, and it was designed to catch only a certain cone of sound. So if you are like this in speaking, then you can't be heard as well because the microphone is, you're speaking over the diaphragm of the microphone. So to be heard well, speaking and singing, you want to hold the microphone here. But as musicians, we also want to communicate with our faces. So, you know, you've got those guys. And then you've got these guys. And it's like, okay, well, you're getting the right idea, but if you have this guy, all of a sudden, you're open to express, to communicate, and you can be heard. And so I would coach, you know, just to kind of bring it up a little bit, because it's right here. And then we're going to hear the beauty of your voice, and your sound guy is just going to be like, thank you, Jesus. Right, Andrew? All right? He's like, yes, Lord. And it's also, there's tones in your voice that the microphone will pick up that's different from here. And we want to hear all the beauty of your voice because you have a beautiful voice. All right, here we go. Measure 38. 1, 2, turn, stop. Doesn't this make you want to cry? Oh my gosh. When she dug into it, because she plays with such emotion, but I started feeling your emotion right there. It was so good. So good. Our theme in our worship ministry is called All In, and it's heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love the Lord God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, all your strength, not just part of those things. And when people do things all in, it elicits a response. And she got all in, and I was just goosey. It was awesome. So do that again. Play with that emotion. Play with that passion, and it's going to communicate. And you're going to lead people in worship, even by a beautiful melody. So here we go. 2, 3, here we go.
For
and we started building. I would only just change one little thing about that. He probably knows now. So on that first line, we just had kind of piano going. The second line, the bass came in, but we didn't talk about it in advance, so bass and violin came in at the same time. And that's okay. It's not a problem because he was lower in his range. And then the third time through, he brought up in his range, and we heard him, the icing on top, and it was okay. But I would say, so wait one more, come in that third line, because bassman already took that spot, or violin, you know. And then you notice also, we began to slowly, what we call get on the horse. You get on the horse is riding. You just take out, what are we playing, kind of go. So when you don't have the click track, everybody's got to be thinking, slow it back, bring it back on a song like this. You know the songs you rush, think slower. The songs that you go too slow, which not today is one that could have gone too slow, you think a little bit faster. One of the ways I try to picture that in my mind is, how do I do it? Hold it back. I had a great analogy, it was going to be amazing, y'all's minds are going to be blown, but I can't think of it, what it is right now. Oh, that's what it was. My boys teacher in college told me, Josh, professionals take their time and amateurs rush. And I was like, So if I want to pretend like I'm a professional, I'll just try to take my time on things that people think I'm professional. So, and I know that sounds weird, but I actually think about that, like, okay, I'm going to pretend to be professional. So in your mind, you're the moving line. So think, hold back a little bit. Let's try it again. Here we go. Twinkle, start. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the one thing I'll say. Your drummer is going to also, again, set the mood for a lot of things. So right there, he chose to go to ride on that chorus. Now what I, in my heart, would want to do, but obviously we've never played together before, so he doesn't know my heart, but my drummer would know my heart, and if we played for like a week, Tim would know my heart. I want him to go to that open hi-hat right there, because we've just done this big building, name above all names, one, and then like face melting drum, fill, and then powerful name it is, open hi-hat, what a powerful name it is, because I know what's coming. We're about to go to that bridge again. And if we go to that bridge, we need another change. So he goes from that hi-hat open, and he's going to flip over there to his ride cymbal, but he's not going to treat it like a ride anymore. He's going to treat it like a crash ride. He's going to be like, okay? So let's take the last line of the bridge, and let's go into that chorus, and then let's keep going into the next bridge with that new element in mind. And that's the only thing we're going to change, and it's going to make a big difference. Here we go. Yours is the kingdom. Ready? 1, 2. Yours is the kingdom. some drum fills, but it just brings everything to life. All right, I'm expecting the next chapel service. Big things to happen back there. So what we do at the ending of this song, it needs an epic ending. You notice we didn't talk about what we were going to do, and so we just stopped. And it's like, the name of Jesus. How many times have you had that in worship services? Like, it breaks through on. So we were going to do just a little bit of retard, and I'm totally over time. All right, what time is it? What time is this one over? Alright, we're going to end this song and be done. Okay? So we're going to do just the Trinitarian ending, the three endings there. And then we're going to end it on the name of Jesus. And so on an ending with a song like this, it's not necessarily that rock band trash can ending. It would be the cymbals well. Until we're done. Okay? Let's try it. Trinitarian ending. Here we go. 1, 2. Forever. You're in charge because you're the worship leader. And we just watch you. Oh, Jesus. Sing the name. Praise the name of Jesus. There is no other name above the name of Jesus. Yeah, whatever you want to do. And so German, he saw me, he knew. So on that last part, we wanted to do a little bit of a retard. And when we did, but we have to do it right. So we're going to do just the last one right now. Ready? 1, 2. What about the name? Whatever you want to do. You can just go for hours, right? Or if you're Baptist church, you can go for minutes. Just kidding. Just kidding. Thank you guys for coming. If you have any questions, let me know. Be glad to.